This is a clock that I built out of plywood, mostly plywood, 3/4 inch pine plywood, and some oak accents. The power for the clock is provided by these two weights, which are window sash weights that I got at a junkyard. They weigh about 7 pounds apiece. In the center, you'll see that the strings that support those weights wrap around a central hub. This is what provides the power for the clock. The strings and the weights power this central gear, which is connected to the lower two gears that are connected together via an axis. The one in back, the larger one, powers the gear set directly above it. The larger of those wheels powers this gear, which is connected to the large gear behind it. That gear then powers the two gears at the very top. The one in front is the escapement, which actually regulates the speed at which the clock ticks. That escapement on top is connected to the pendulum in back, and the pendulum is what regulates the number of ticks per second. As you can see, the escapement is connected to the second hand, which ticks every second. This square piece in the center here is used to wind the clock. You can see the ratchet is used to hold the spool in place as the clock is wound. There are two strings that wind up on that center lug. One of them pulls down, goes around a bearing mounted intermediate shaft, goes back up the clock to this big wheel. That has also got a bearing in it, which eventually comes down to the bearing on the weight, and that provides friction-free or very little friction to the weight. The string on the other side pulls up on the center axis with this string and over another large wheel that again comes down to a bearing mounted on the large weight. The clock face was joined together with 8 pieces of oak that we cut down on this property and sawed up into lumber. It's been drying for a couple years now and it's finally usable. It's actually very pretty wood. If you notice, the escapement wheel has little ramps built into each tooth. That's to give the pendulum a little kick on every stroke so that it can power the pendulum. It gives a little kick to the pendulum every time one of those ticks happens. So here's just some video on showing the clock ticking.